Hello, my name is Danielle Spada, and this is case study 1 where we will focus on client P. This presentation will discuss client P and his behaviors of concern. I will also discuss which assessments have been selected for him, why those assessments were selected, and the results of those assessments. Client P is a 4-year-old who is diagnosed with autism. He is considered to be vocal nonverbal, only emitting occasional words, which he cannot emit on command. He also emits infrequent echoics. He currently attends a specialized preschool full-time. Client P's behaviors of concern include mouthing, which is defined as any instance of placing objects into the mouth that are not intended for chewing or biting. Elopement, defined as any instance of leaving the instructional area without permission. And tantruming, which is engaging in any one or a combination of yelling, crying, and dropping to the floor. One of the assessments selected for Client P was the Verbal Behavior Milestones Assessment and Placement Program, or the VB-MAP. It assesses a child's language and is based on Skinner's verbal behavior. The first task of the assessment is to identify the existing skills of each child. Next is to identify language, social, behavioral, and learning barriers that impede natural generative learning. The VB-MAP is conducted to avoid selecting and teaching an inappropriate curriculum. The reasons for selecting the VB-MAP for Client P includes its appropriateness for clients ages 0 through 7, for nonverbal and minimally verbal children, and for children able to engage in some structure assessment activities. Here are Client P scores from the VB-MAP assessment. The current scores represent the most recent assessment, which took place in July of 2024. The previous score represents the assessment that was conducted in January of 2024. Scores with 0 value suggest that the learner did not display the skill at the time of the assessment. The table above describes Client P's progressing in the categories of manding, visual perception, independent play, and imitation. Client P did not regress in any of the above areas. Continuing with Client P's VB-MAP assessment, Client P showed gains in the categories of echoic language, classroom routines and group skills, and linguistic structure. Client P did not regress in any of the above areas. There has been a 15-point increase from the previous score from January to the current score from July. The increase in overall score suggests that Client P is improving, though the gains were not made in every category. The skills that Client P does not currently demonstrate are in listener response and intraverbals. Another part of the VB-MAP is the barriers assessment. The barriers assessment provides an assessment of 24 learning and language acquisition barriers faced by children with developmental disabilities and language delays. Identifying barriers can assist in designing interventions specific to overcome these problems and therefore increase learning opportunities. The higher the score, the larger effect the barriers have on learning. Client P's primary barriers were absent man repertoire, self-stimulation, articulation problems, and response requirement weakened motivation. This is a 9-point decrease from baseline to the most recent administration date, suggesting that Client P is progressing. Another component of the VB-MAP is the transitions assessment. The transition assessment provides an assessment of 18 different areas to provide an overall summary to help identify whether a child is making meaningful progress and has acquired the skills necessary for learning in a less restrictive educational environment. Client P shows significant improvement in the skill areas of negative behaviors and instructional control, and social skills and social play. Meaningful progress is still needed in the areas of natural environment learning, transfer with training, generalization, spontaneous behaviors, rate of skill acquisition, and the retention of new skills to support Client P's transition to a less restrictive learning environment. His overall score was 44 out of 90. This is a 12-point increase from the previous assessment in January. A functional behavior assessment was also conducted for Client P. FBAs identify the function of problem behaviors, develop effective intervention plans, and enhance educational outcomes. The reason for selecting the FBA for Client P is that the FBA is appropriate for clients with autism and for children with developmental delays. The FBA is a multi-component process that utilizes both indirect and direct data collection measures. Indirect measures for Client P included a parent interview, a teacher interview, the FAST tool, and a record review. Direct assessments for Client P included a school observation and a home observation. The results of the FBA are used to generate the functions of the client's problematic behaviors. The function of Client P's mouthing behavior was found to be automatic reinforcement or sensory. The function of Client P's elopement behavior was found to be escape, and the function of Client P's tantruming behavior was found to be both attention and escape. In summary, Client P is a 4-year-old with autism. He is considered to be vocal nonverbal. His problem behaviors include mouthing, elopement, and tantruming. The assessments used include the VB map and the FBA. The function of mouthing was determined to be automatic reinforcement. The function of elopement was determined to be escape. And the function of tantruming was determined to be both attention and escape. Thank you very much for watching.